So as we read Zekaryah 14:8-21, it is shown that Jerusalem is going to be the epicenter of worship. Okay? All clans of the earth are going to be focused on Jerusalem during the Festival of Tabernacles, which is the Ingathering Festival. Okay, so this is the festival that includes all nations. Okay, this is a international celebration that recognizes the sovereignty, the primacy, and the presence of the Elohim of Israel over all other deities that are even thought to be of existence or in existence. And so this is a very crucial verse that shows that the Elohim of Israel has chosen Jerusalem to be his throne. Okay, now to really get into this sovereignty concept that the Father's presence is established in Jerusalem, we're going to go to Isaiah 33. I kind of like to beat the horse till it's dead sometimes and make sure that it's a clear rap that this is what this entire matter is speaking about. So this is Isaiah 33. We're going to look at verse 13-22. And I will post these scriptures below so you can refer to them yourself. I'm reading from what's called the Institute for Scriptural Research version, which is a restored name, restored holy name version, which uses the name of the Tetragrammaton over and over. See if you can check it out here as far as what I'm talking about. This reverse, but you can see the Tetragrammaton, the Yad He Wah He, right here above my finger, right there. That is how this scripture uses and refers to the Father's name, as opposed to Lord, which has been substituted over 66,000 times throughout Scripture and replaced with a very interesting translation that means nothing of the Father's proper name, which is revealed in Exodus 3:14-15. But back to Isaiah 33, which is dealing with the issue of sovereignty and his throne being in Jerusalem. This is Isaiah 33 verses 13-22. He says, "You who are far off." So these are speaking of all these other nations. Okay, "You who are far off, hear what I shall do. And you who are near," speaking of Israel, "know my might. Sinners in Zion shall be afraid. Trembling shall grip the defiled ones. Who of us shall dwell with the devouring fire?" Who is the devouring fire? Yah is the devouring fire. "Who of us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who of us shall dwell with everlasting burnings?" Okay, these are sacrifices, offerings. "He who walks righteously and speaks what is straight. He who rejects the gain of oppressions." Now this is what government is truly supposed to be about. Understand this. "He who rejects the gain of oppressions. He who keeps his hands from accepting bribes. Who stops his ears from hearing of bloodshed and shuts his eyes from seeing evil." Not that he is ignoring them, but he is addressing them and not participating in them whatsoever. "He shall inhabit the heights, strongholds of rocks be his refuge. His bread shall be given him, his water be steadfast. Your eyes shall see the sovereign in his comeliness. See a land that is far off." What is this land? Jerusalem. "Your heart ponders fear. Where is the scribe? Where is he who weighs? Where is he who counts the towers? No longer shall you see a fierce people, a people of too deep a lip to hear, of a jabbering tongue that no one understands. See Zion. See Zion." This is what the land far off we should see. Okay? "See Zion, the city of our appointed time," our appointed time. "Your eyes shall see Jerusalem, Jerusalem, an undisturbed home, a tent not taken down. Its stakes are never removed, nor any of its cords broken. But there, great is Yah for us, a place of broad rivers, streams in which no boat with oars sails, nor big ships pass by. For Yah is our judge, Yah is our inscriber, Yah is our sovereign. He saves us." Okay, so let's break these three capacities of the Father down. He is our judge. He is our judicial branch. He is our inscriber. An inscriber is a lawgiver. He is our legislative branch. Yah is our sovereign. He is our king. He is our executive branch. So the government is established in Jerusalem because it is there that Yah is great for us. Okay? So when we understand the importance of the kingdom as in terms of what government we should be operating and functioning in, we understand that we are only paying allegiance to the kingdom of heaven, to the kingdom of Elohim on earth. And it is our imperative to be ambassadors of that, to have full diplomatic power to represent all matters relating to this kingdom, this government here on earth. That is what our chief task is, to represent that. Okay? Now let's look at 1 Chronicles 27 and get more into this throne idea. 1 Chronicles chapter 27. We're going to look at verses 1 through 7. I'm sorry, it's 28. 1 Chronicles 28. We're going to look at verses 1 through 7. And look what David said here, because David was the one who was chosen in his throne. His bloodline was chosen to be the one who was seated on the throne. This is the tribe of Yehudah, and this goes back to Genesis 49, right? Let's just read this real quick. This is chapter 49 and verses 8 through 12. Just real quick, it says, "You, Yehudah, your brothers praise you." This is Jacob speaking to all 12 of his sons. Okay, he's giving them a prophecy of their role in the world from that point forward, okay, until kingdom come. "You, Yehudah, your brothers praise you. Your hand is on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children bow before you. Yehudah is a lion's cub. From the prey you have gone up, my son. He bowed down. He crouched like a lion, and like a lion who does rouse him." Here it is. "The scepter shall not turn aside from Yehudah, nor an inscriber from between his feet until Shiloh, who is Mashiach, comes. And to him is the obedience of peoples. Binding his donkey to the vine and his donkey's coat to the choice vine, he washed his garments in wine and his robes in blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine and his teeth whiter than milk." So neither the scepter or a inscriber or lawgiver shall depart from his feet. This is why Judah was chosen. So back to the 1 Chronicles 28. "And David assembled at Jerusalem all the rulers of Israel, the rulers of the tribes and the commanders of the divisions who serve the sovereign, the commanders over thousands and commanders over hundreds, and the heads over all the property and possessions of the sovereign and of his sons, with the officials, the mighty men and all the mighty brave men. Then sovereign David rose to his feet and said, 'Hear me, my brothers and my people. I had it in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yah, and for the footstool of our Elohim, and had made preparations to build it. But Elohim said to me, You do not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of battle and have shed blood. Yet Yah Elohim of Israel chose me above all the house of my father to be sovereign over Israel forever. For he has chosen Yehudah to be the ruler.'" And we just read why Yehudah was the ruler, because Yaakov prophesied in the spirit about his fourth son's role in relationship to the kingdom of heaven. "And of the house of Yehudah, the house of my father, which was Yishai or Jesse, and among the sons of my father, he was pleased with me to make me reign over all Israel. And of all my sons, for Yah has given me many sons, he has chosen my son Shlomo or Solomon to sit on the throne of the reign of Yah over Israel." He chose Shlomo to sit on the throne of the kingdom of Yah over Israel. Listen to that. He chose my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the reign or of the kingdom of Yah over Israel. So the throne of David is in fact the throne of Yah. We're going to read that very soon. "And said to me, Shlomo, your son is the one to build my house and my courtyard." Again, this is in Jerusalem. "For I have chosen him to be my son, and I myself am a father to him, and I shall establish his reign forever, if he is strong to do my commands and my right rulings, as it is this day. Again, there's the imperative for him to be obedient in keeping these commandments and right rulings, okay? So, let's see what Solomon's sitting on, okay? We're going to go to chapter 29 and verse 23. That's all we really need to look at, okay? 29, 1 Chronicles, verse 23. And Shlomo sat on the throne of Yah. He sat on the throne of Yah as sovereign instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. So David's throne, you have to understand, is representative of Yah's throne on earth. So Jerusalem, being where that throne is seated, is the place where the kingdom of heaven on earth is established. Let's clearly understand this with logic and with reason. This is why Yah chose Jerusalem, okay? Let's look at this a little further. Psalms 2. And we're going to be wrapping up very shortly. I'll have just 2 more passages after this. This is Psalms 2. And this kind of explains the chaos in the world today, which is an attempt to not allow this kingdom to be made manifest. There's a war that is being waged to prevent this kingdom from being made manifest. Let's read Psalm 2. Why do the nations rage? This is what the problem is. Why do the nations rage and the peoples meditate emptiness? The sovereigns of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against Yah and against his Messiah, and say, let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. Let us not keep their commandments and their instructions and their right rulings. Let's do what we want to do and what's right in our eyes. That's the ropes and the bonds that have kept them, that has kept Israel close to him, but also has caused Israel to be sent into exile and for the kingdom to not be made manifest. But this is what the nations are intent on doing. They're not trying to worship the Father in spirit and truth, okay? But he who is sitting in the heavens laughs. Yah mocks at them, and he speaks to them in his wrath and troubles them in his rage, saying, but I, listen to this, I have set my sovereign, my king on Zion, my set apart mountain, Yah says. I have set my sovereign, my king on Zion. There it is again. The reality of Israel, Jerusalem more specifically, which is the capital of Israel, being the throne of Yah. I have set my sovereign, verse 6, on Zion, my set apart mountain. I inscribed for a law, Yah says. Yah has said to me, you are my son. This, of course, refers to Shlomo, but it also speaks of